I'm in the pub at Terminal 5, Heathrow, waiting for my flight to Vanguard. I'm trying to do this in a way that's not weird, but there's no way to talk to yourself on the camera that isn't weird. And so, and I'm trying to about what I don't know, which is fine, but I'm having a drink, so everything's nice. So I am on the way to Vanguard in Virginia, United States of America. I really wanted, after going to, I'm looking over here because that's where the stop button is, but actually the camera is here. Look at you here, hi. On the way to Vanguard GT. A couple of years ago, if you remember, I went to Adepticon. I really, really enjoyed going to America and the American Tournament scene, which is very cool. And so I've been wanting to go back. Couldn't go back last year, had too many other things. And this year, I just kind of I looked at my diary and I looked at all the tournaments that I wanted to go to because there's a few, not many. I know that Tom Robinson and Paul Wells are going to Lone Wolf, and I looked at the possibilities, but I couldn't make it work with my job. So I looked at the other ones, and my good friend Matt, before I went to Vanguard a few years back, and just raved about how great it was, what a fantastic time he had, what a gracious host Mike was. And so this year we are going to Vanguard GT in Virginia, so I'm flying into Washington DC. I'm very excited. I'm far too excited, as you can tell. But yeah, I got through immigration really well. I've got my army in a flight case, and it's so far not broken, which is unusual for me. Yeah, let's see how we go. I'm going to stop talking to myself in the airport now because this is embarrassing.
There you go. Well, that was me, a little bit drunk, very excited in the airport. That's right, I went to the US of A to play in the Vanguard GT, hosted by the incredible Mike Atkins. And I had a wonderful time. And this is the battle report. It is 5 games at 2,300 points, 2,300 points. And yeah, we had a great time. Let's give you a little... I took some pictures on the way. I like this one. I felt this was very American. Here's the old American flag at McDonald's. I took a bunch of other pictures too. I might show you some, maybe at the end of the battle report. But there's me and Mike having a lovely time. What a gracious host. I got to say, I know that American tournaments are bigger and better and grander and all those kind of things, but I have never in my life experienced hospitality like they have at Vanguard. I came back, and I'm not even joking, 4 kilograms heavier. I ate so much. It was really good. It was really good. In fact, and before we crack into my list, which is here, let's have a look at the venue. I took a little video. Let's have a little look.
Okay, so let's go down to the basement. And I'm going to show you. So here we go. This is the first gaming area. There's actually room for another table there, but there's 2 there. And then through here, that's the TO desk. There's some tables here. And this is a streaming table. It's pretty cool. And then here's some more tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And then there's another one in here. And then past the beer fridge and refreshment table, here's the remaining 3. And back to the main room.
So as you can see, very cool, very comfortable, very homely. Right? How nice. And everyone there was amazingly welcoming. A little bit confused about why I was there, which I understand. I was also confused. Sometimes you just got to put yourself out there. And this was my list I took, which was very harshly criticised as a soft list, because it is a soft list. Largely because it's what I had painted. I did have the option to paint more infantry and make it better, but I'm looking on my desk now next to me, and they're still there, undercoated, because I never painted them. So instead, I upgraded the militia mob that I did take in the last tournament to a horde of fanatics. Yeah, and I couldn't be bothered to paint any more generals and winged beasts, so it is what it is. But I took it because it was pretty and I liked it. So I have 2 regiments and a horde of foot guard. They are the melee 3 defense 5 guys. They've all got indomitable will. And over here you can see they are rallied by the monarch, who has rallying for knights only. They're the only knights in my army, so that makes them kind of a tasty 16-18 for the regiments and 23-25 for the hordes, which is pretty great. We have 3 regiments of fanatics, and they have vicious, elite, and sharpness, which means this one hits on 2s. Ouch. And then a horde of fanatics, 3 ballistas. Which I put in twice brilliantly. My cutting and pasting skill. Obviously, I didn't take 6 ballistas. You can ignore that. I could re-record this bit again, but I've started, so I'll finish. We have an army standard bearer with the loot. We have a fanatic instigator with the wings of Honeymaze. I like this character. He charges up to 23. Holy crap! I told someone he wasn't mighty during this tournament. He is definitely mighty. Well, you know, you live and learn. He's dash 14 as well, so he's very, very good. I like him. We've got a wizard on a Pegasus with Bane Chant and Hex. A hero on a Pegasus with Indomitable Will that they never used. A general on Winged Beast with a Staying Stone, which he did use. And the Monarch, which is like a dragon but slow. And without Strider. Definitely should have Strider. Anyway, 16 units, 28 unit strength. Let's crack right into the tournament. Hey, yes. So there were bonus objectives in this tournament. Each game, you could select one of these. You can select each one of them once per tournament. You have 5 games, so you have to select 5 of these. And you get 2 additional tournament points if you manage to achieve this bonus objective. So they were claim the field at the end of at least one of your turns. Wow, I didn't read that. I thought it was the end of the game. I would have definitely selected this. You know what? As a tournament organizer, people not reading the pack annoys me. I am annoying myself right now. Anyway, you can figure out I didn't choose this one, but I should have done. Have at least 3 unit strength complete in each table quadrant. Totally could have done that. Hamstring. Rout all enemy units with a movement value greater than 7. I did select this one. Hold the line. End the table with a higher total unit strength completely on your table half than your opponent has. I selected this one too. Look out, sir. Have more sources of inspiring still alive than your opponent. My precious. I didn't play anyone with a magical artifact worth more than 30. So I didn't get to use this one. I would have liked to. Quality of quantity. Keep your highest point cost unit alive for the entire game. Well, mine is the Monarch. Right, let's have a look. 255. Oh, 200. 255? Yeah, 255. Yeah. Monarch dies every single game. Spoiler warning. So I didn't use that one. Sever the head. Rout more non-scoring enemy units than your opponent routes. I did that one. And strength in numbers. Have a higher total unit strength alive than your opponent. So yeah, those were the bonuses. It's a little bit of fun, but you can add a whole extra. Well, let's see, 10 tournament points by the end of the tournament if you get them right. So I'm leafing. You can hear me leafing here to find out my tournament pack to find out what I did. So the first game was against Warren, who was a ringer. I was supposed to be playing Jake Chirapika of Dash 28 and Unplugged Radio fame. But he flaked out because he was too scared of me at the last minute. He was ill. Poor Jake was ill. So I didn't get to play Jake, which is very sad because I was really excited to meet him. Instead, I played Warren, who is a very cool guy. He came with his sister Kat, who is an extraordinary painter. More about that later. And she painted his army for him. So his army is very, very pretty. In fact, his army won Player's Choice. Which is very cool, but he doesn't play Kings of War very much by his own admission. What he said was he's basically a ringer who turns up and only ever plays at tournaments. And he was playing Goblins. However, I was like, oh, he'll be playing some gimpy list then. Nope, he's playing this list. So that's 14 regiments of rabble. Yeah, one of which has the Warbow of Carvel, which you can immediately forget, because he certainly did. 3 big rocks throwers, 3 war trombones, 3 goblin blasters, don't see those very often. Double wing it with bombs away for Eye in the Sky. The Groany Snark King with the Jareth's Pendant for Headstrong Aura. A Whiz with Inspiring Talisman and Lightning Bolt, and Magua and Jaws, who is a very cool character who has Duelist, Crush 2, 7 attacks, Vicious, Wild Charge, all the rules. So it's 28 units and 33 unit strength. Wow. So I chose the Sever the Head objective, which is rout more non-scoring enemy units than they rout, just because he's got so many of them. I figured, wow, I probably will. Well, how many have I got? Let's see, I've got 3 ballistas. Twice in this list. 3 ballistas, an army standard bearer, an instigator. So that's quite a lot. It's 5, but he's got 3 big rock throwers, 3 war trombones, a king, a whiz, and magua and Joe. So 9. So odds on, right? Anyway, we were playing Smoke and Mirrors, and this was our battlefield. I have to say, the terrain at Vanguard, I mean, Mike of Dash 28 fame is, I mean, incredible. He's an incredible person, full stop. But his terrain was, I think, pretty much the best I've ever played on. It's right up there with Nick Williams' from Northern Kings fame. Really amazing. The only thing I would add was like bases underneath the fences, right? That's the only thing I could think of. Everything else, outstanding. So we have 2 height 3 hills, height 9 forest, 2 height 9 buildings, and then we have a height flat lake and 2 height 2 difficult terrains. Yeah, so they give you cover, and then 2 height 2 fences. Now, this looks like a fine battlefield. It's fine. It has got a hill and deployment zone. However, there were maps for each terrain, which we only remembered after the game. It should have looked like this, but it didn't. So apologies to literally everyone at the tournament. Warren and I were too excited. Anyway, so this was the terrain we actually played on. And we were playing Smoke and Mirrors, which was the scenario where you reveal a token each turn. So you place the bluff tokens on your opponent's half of the battlefield. So I think this is my 2, and this is my 1, and this is my 1. So I really wanted to play here because he's got so many war machines. So I figured he's probably going to put the war machines on this hill, which means I want to be able to put stuff around here because he's going to be bombing off my monarch otherwise. So these are my zeros. And we'll find out what Warren put later. That's my army, by the way, which I'll show you probably through this entire battle board. So I put everything that was kind of punchy on the right-hand side so I could really hide from those war machines on that hill behind this house. So the monarch particularly, turn 1 is going this way. This is my monarch. It's a dragon, which I painted like 3 years ago. And then eventually I made this army to go with it. And they've all got dragons on their shields and stuff. I've told you this already, probably if you watched the last battle report, but maybe you haven't. Maybe you're new. Hi, welcome, new person. This is the Horde of Fanatics, which is some Basilean sister. This is mostly Mantic, my army. My Fanatic Instigator is here. That's Julius, the Vault Prince, scaled down. This is the Sharpness Fanatics. This one, I believe, is the Elite Fanatics, and this one is the Vicious Fanatics. Then we have Foot Guard, Foot Guard, Foot Guard. Right? Then we've got 3 ballistas in this field, just looking down the battlefield like that. And over here we have a trio of mounted heroes. This is the Wiz. You've got a little book. This is the hero, and this is the general. Okay? And against that we have a Warren's Goblins, which are very, 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 very pretty. So everything that's a regiment is rabble. Rabble, 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 rabble. All rabble. And then we have Wing It here. This is the blaster. He has all 3 trombones here. And in the weirdest choice ever, all 3 rock lobbers are right behind this hill. And when he put this rabble on the hill, I was like, yeah, no, he doesn't play much. Because why would you not put your war engines on a hill? Which was, he realised, but he put them there because he wanted to be shooting these guys, right? So he was mainly worried about my flyers, which I get. So rabble, 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 let's open rabble. This is Magua and Jules. This is another blaster. Wing It, blaster, and there's the Wiz, the inspiring Wiz here. Okay, so he's strung out across the battlefield. I win turn 1 and off we go. That's my turn 1 roll. It's a 6. Look at that. Clash of Kings dice. So I put the Wiz behind the hill because I want to be focusing mainly on Magua with my Hex. And I put these guys in the woods because I think I'll be okay for a couple of, or at least 1 turn if he shoots me there. Everything else pushes forward, so we're hiding from the war engines here. And we're really pushing up because I want to be getting my tokens. This one, this one, this one. And I'm just hoping that this one or this one here is, this one under here, I think, are points. In which case I win. Hurrah! So this horde is again hiding in this terrain because being shot sucks. And off we crack. So yeah, end up like this. So I'm pushed forward quite heavily. I'm just going to have to start murdering as soon as possible. And yeah, oh, that's a blaster, which is now not there anymore. It is in fact this blaster. So what happened is all 3 bolt throwers unleashed. They hit pretty well. And we managed to knock them off in the first turn, which is very, very cool. Bodes well. I'll tell you what, my bolt throwers this tournament, amazing. Yep, so then his turn. So he's pushed forward very heavily with these guys. And then just kind of cautiously. He hasn't pushed forward with his trombones. And I talked to him about it later, and he said, because people say you only want your trombones in at turn 4. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's because you want them across the board first. So we're learning. We're learning. Notice the dice, by the way, are themed with the army, which is a very Royer thing to do, as I found out. Everything else is just a giant line pushing forwards because they don't care. And yep, the war engines unleashed upon my hero on Pegasus. 5 damage, but he couldn't roll the requisite 5 to waver him, so away we go into my turn 2. So here's how we look. We're just facing off against each other. That's my token at the end of his turn. Apologies, yeah, at the end of his turn, we've got unveiled token, so underneath this unit was a 0, which is unfortunate. And my 0 at the back there, so also unfortunate. So we both got 0s. Yeah, so here we go. I decided that this unit here was kind of protecting the war engines, and I thought, well, have at you. So we send both flying units in, the hero and the general. So what this means is that hopefully we kill them, and then the hero can turn this way, and the general can hide behind it. Wizard moves forwards, everything else pushes up. Just kind of forming a nice generic line. And we do in fact take off the rabble unit, which is very exciting, and we turn exactly as planned. So the hero will probably die because it's got so many wounds, but we are within 12 of these indirect war machines, so we can start killing them, maybe. Yep, so that was my turn. There was a wound here, so my bolt throwers did not roll well that time. Only 1 wound. But, you know, you can't get out of every turn. And you can see my nice hex token. So I managed to hex Magua. And then, so on this right-hand side, the instigator flew right over the back. It's going to start doing mischief to things that shoot. Into Warren's turn. So he sent, that's the Groany Snark, right into the front of the hero. And he's turned his war trombones round. So this back one here is still out of range, but these are both in with cover to start punishing me. He's also sent his wing it over. And what's happening? No, he's just kind of stood there, right? He's just kind of hung back and waited for me to charge in, which I get. Eye in the sky on the wizard, which is unfortunate. And then 4 damage from the rock lobbers who could see him. So if you look over here, you can see a lovely line of sight down here with cover. Actually, no cover because they ignore that cover, don't they? 4 damage on the whiz. Didn't like that. I really struggled, by the way, to do the writing in this book. I think it came out okay in the end, but hard. And yeah, well, that happened. So this is a problem with generals on Pegasi. So all the war engines shot at him, the what they called war trombones, 20 shots on 5s. 3 damage isn't much, but when you're a 14-16, all you got to roll is an 11, a 15-16 because it actually had the staying stone, right? So he needed a double 6, and of course he rolled a double 6. So he's wavered my general on the first turn. Balls. That's lightning bolts, a wing it, and yep. Just actually lightning bolts and the wing it on him. So 2 damage, he's okay. And Groany, of course, kills the hero on Pegasus, which means my general is now incredibly vulnerable. The other token is also a 0, as is mine. So we've pulled all the 0s off the board now. Into turn 3. And I decide I can't be hanging around here. In we go. So the general goes into the blaster. And we kind of position like this because Rabble aren't going to kill this Fanatics unit in one go. I've offered a flank here, which you think might be crazy. So a front and a flank to this unit. Mainly because it's 16-18 and they're hindered. So they're going to be hitting on 6s. I don't think they'll kill. offering a nice line here. So I think we're in on this unit and this unit. Maybe a triple. Might be a triple. But again, 2 of them are hindered, so hitting on 6s and ruining on 5, so not very worried. And we rehex Vanguard. Great paint job. And then we just back up over here because we're screwed. And that is my bolt throwers doing 3 damage on a winged. Oh, and yes, sorry, I forgot. I said the instigator also wins. So we really wanted to kill this blaster because I don't like blasters. They're very strong. When they get in, so you have to kill them first. They're only at -10, so instigator in the back and then monarch in the front killed it, which is great. So on Warren's turn, he pushes the trombones up, so he's kept this one back because it can't reach. 2 trombones and a wing it onto my general, who's wavered. Don't like that. These guys are pushed down here, which pretty much means that's got points on it. Groany Snark has come all the way down as far as possible because he's going to come across to attack my ballistas next turn. Everything else is pushing forward. He takes the double charge on the horde, and he sends Magua, who was hexed, so couldn't cast, and this other unit into my foot guard here. And the other foot guard go into this one on the hill, and then a double flank on the monarch. 1 hindered, 1 unhindered, which we, couldn't do anything about really. I think I backed up, but I only got 1 inch, and it wasn't quite far enough. I needed 2. General up to 5 wounds. Rubbish rolling for Warren that turn. Very unfortunate. But he is wavered again. He rolled a 10. So yeah. I'm holding up a lot of points. I'll take that. So more lightning bolts and bombs onto this instigator. He's still okay. 10 wounds on the general. He didn't like that. He's okay too. 3 wounds here. We're okay. And a wound here. We're okay. So now we reveal the one, this over by my wizard on this piece of rough terrain is his 2-point token. Hurrah! And he's uncovered one of my 1s. So into turn 4. So we just kind of sit there. So you can see here where the 2 and 1 is. This is brilliant for me. Hopefully I can keep this and this. We'll see. So we send my fanatics. We get a good wild charge roll into these rabble because there's no line of sight here, which is great. And then we do counter-charging and smashing and crushing and things like that. So we counter-charge the horde into this one, which allows these fanatics to come across the rough terrain hindered into these guys. We counter-charge Magua. Counter-charge here. This unit, which is my most powerful unit, Sharpness, Fanatics, is stuck. And we see, so the wing it had turned this way to attack the instigator, which meant that his flank was exposed. So the monarch went into his flank, which allowed these fanatics to come into the flank of this unit. So we can start clearing things out here. And then the instigator tries to take out the whiz because he's inspiring. And I've got my objective, right? He's to take out his inspiring characters. I haven't forgotten, which is why I've also attacked Magua. That's bolt throwers because he's got. See, these guys are now free to come down this way, so bolt throwers are slightly worried. So 2 wounds on one of those. 2 wounds on his whiz and waver him, but he's okay. And we kill the blaster, which is great. And I think I overrun. Yeah, I overrun. So I've killed the blaster and overrun, and I'm out of line of sight of everything. So the monarch is safe for a turn. We do some murderizing of rabble there. And we don't do any murderizing of rabble there. Only 3 wounds. 2 wounds on Magua, very poor rolling. 7 wounds on this rabble and wavered as well. So it's Waver Town. And there's another waver. We basically waver everything. All the rabble are wavered, apart from that one which dies. Because fanatics are, in the end of the day, not bad. So here we are. This is how we're looking now. So I'm feeling not bad at this point. Because we know these are points. I know what they are. There are 2 and a 1. And I can see his 2 and the 1 here. So all I have to do is hold these areas. And I win. He's got loads of points over here, and these war engines are in the wrong place, so I think I'm alright. Alright, so double charge on these fanatics from his rabble. Counter charge here. Both these guys just back up because they have nothing they can do. However, he does manage to finally, after 3 turns, kill my general. He did well. And he turns his blaster and brings a trombone over to shoot at this vicious fanatics for 2 wounds. An exciting wound from the rabble here onto my foot guard, and only 5 wounds from both these rebels. One of them was after all hindered. That's not worrying. And then even worse, so he does do 9 wounds here because I didn't do any damage to the Magua. He got a lovely flank with his rabble in the front from Magua. 9 wounds and a double 1. And then 5 wounds from this hindered flank from these rabble across this fence. Hitting on 6s really sucks, guys. Turn 5. So turn 5 is now looking pretty tasty. So we go countercharge here, countercharge here. We fly. Where now? Where did my... Rather than play with this wizard anymore, my instigator flew over to try and help with Magua. So a countercharge on Magua, instigator in the rear. The monarch hits the wizard this time. And then we attack this regiment with the regiment, and this regiment with the horde. And we take a flank on these ones, which failed to do anything exciting. Whoops. Over here you can see Groany Snark because finally he flew over last turn. We've got to take a picture and is ready to start murderizing things. Might be too late because I'm shooting stuff all the time. Yeah, I've shown you all of that. That's a water and bone. Oh, and the bolt throwers. So the bolt throwers took out a water and bone, which I felt good about. Because that's is that another scoring thing for me? Probably is. Sadly, 3 more wounds on the Wiz and he's okay. We are the slap fight of the century over here. They're up to 8 and they're okay. However, everything else died. It was not a good turn, I have to say. So we turn, so we kill everything apart from this rabble here. You can see I've got the what's name, the arc template. So they are in the rear of my horde, which means no, actually they're not. They're in the flank, aren't they? They're in the flank of my horde, and they can see my horde, so they can flank me if they want, but they're not going to kill me. You've got 4 wounds, number 21, 23 at this point. My fanatics are facing this way. We're ready to come into this token. So these guys are still alive. These guys are still alive. These guys could definitely kill this regiment, which is why I've got this guy facing here, and I got my instigator here as well. Yeah, everything else is kind of far out. So, that's the same photograph again. Here we go. So this rabble decides to rear charge the monarch because it's points. Right thing to do. These ones go into this horde of fanatics. Over here, so rather than flank over here, they take this charge because I believe Warren was going for the high value item objective, and he's got Wings of Honey Maze, so that makes a lot of sense. Into the rear of him, might get a big overrun, might not. And then the blaster does come into my fanatics, very scary, don't like blasters. Finally, he takes Groany Snark into one ballista and the other regiment of rabble into another ballista. Yeah, and then I think the water on I think shoots at the horde for a few wounds. Yeah, we're just showing where the points tokens are in there. Yep. So the water on does 6 wounds to my horde, which is fine. The monarch does die, which is sad. And there's just like another wound. They're up to 3, so exciting. This I mean, really misplayed these guys anyway. The instigator does die, so Warren gets his objective. As does this regiment, so yeah. He's definitely still doing work. So we have one bolt thrower dead, I believe. 2 bolt throwers dead, you can see that. So both bolt throwers died. However, the blaster only did 6 wounds, so there's a silver lining there. And then even sadder, Warren timed out. So we had a very, very generous clock in this game. Like an hour and 5. But unfortunately, he has got a lot of units to move, and he was pretty new. So we shot off the war trombone, we killed things and ran onto objectives, and that was the end of the game. So yeah. So pretty decisive victory on that one. What a lovely guy to play, though. He's very gracious. We had a super chill time. I really enjoyed playing Warren. I really loved looking at his army and Painted by Cat. Yeah, and so we go into game 2.
So we plough into game 2. Did I mention what secret objective I did?
Anyway, I did, what did I do? Sever the head in that one. Rout more non-score, which I achieved. More non-scoring enemy units than your opponent. I might have mentioned that, but I did actually record that game yesterday, and now it's today. And obviously, I can't remember anything that happened yesterday. So, game 2, which is versus a very cool guy called Gabe. Some people are just really cool. This guy was really cool. Anyway, Gabe. And he was playing Dwarves. There are Dwarves on this page, it's just you can only see the elves. The Dwarves on the left. The picture I'm talking about there behind the list. So it was a very Defense 6 heavy list, which is kind of exactly what I didn't want to see because I don't have a lot of crushing strength, so I was a little bit trepidatious stepping into this. But as I mentioned, he was a cool guy. His army is all 3D printed, it's all with transparent resin, it's all with LEDs in it. It lights up. It's very cool. He has got 4 regiments of Iron Guard. They are the Defense 6 Melee 3 guys. They've all got throwing mastiffs. A troop of Berserkers. 2 Steel Behemoths, one of which is Golluck's Fury, which is obligatory. A Battle Driller. They're the new hotness. A Stone Priest with Edge Periscope. EJ Periscope? Edge Periscope, I'm going to say. It's not 2 capitals. Edge Periscope. The Knowledgeable Upgrade and Celestial Restoration 3. So that's the indirect spell. So you can't cast it within 12 inches. You can cast it up to 30 inches. And he's giving himself Edge Periscope so he can see over the rest of his troops. So he's going to stick that guy at the back and just cast Celestial Restoration for however many successes times D3 healing, which is a pretty good idea, I think, for 100 points. Faber Ironheart, one of my least favourite characters in the game. I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, and I hate him. So fair enough, I wanted him to die. And then the Royal Guard formation, because it's good. He's got 2 regiments and 2 regiments of Bullwalkers, who are the Phalanx guys. Defense 5. The Horde of Ironclad, melee 3 in this formation. And Standard Bearer with Loot. So yeah. Oh, he's also got an aura of re-rolling 1 missed and resolve. That's what For the King is. And he's very inspiring. So, and an aura of elite for melee. So, woof. Yeah. It's a lot of nerve to chew through. And what are we playing? We're playing Hold the Line. You'll notice this battlefield looks eerily similar because it was the same battlefield. But this time, we remembered to rearrange it to be the appropriate map, which is good of us, isn't it? So there's a forest right over here. So 2 forests right on either side of the board. This is the flat lake. Height 2 for these difficult terrains. Height 3 hill, height 3 hill. That's not a good triangle. Height 6, wall. Right. Hold the Line being the scenario written by Mark Cunningham, which is a band, a 12-inch band down the middle of the board. Split into 3 equally. This one is worth 3, this one is worth 2, this one is worth 2 at the end of the game. Very good. So, this is how we deploy. So the first thing I do is I try to area deny. So I drop all 3 bolt throws first here. The reason I do this is because I want this segment in the middle, or this segment and this segment. I very much want this segment. That's what I'm focusing around. So I put my bolt throwers here in order to discourage him, and you can see he immediately puts stuff this way. So both, bolt throwers love steel behemoths, right? And so he put them all the way over there, which I was really happy about because that allowed me to put some punchy stuff over here. So I have got all my fanatics on this side, right? So even though he's got his phalanx guys here. These ones with the hammers, I believe, are the Defense 6. Let me see, there should be 3 of them, 4 of them. Yeah, they've got these kind of crystal hammers. They're the Defense 6 guys. And these guys with the shields are the Bullwalkers. Okay, and there's the Horde of Ironclad. We'll look at them in a second. They are very pretty. So although we're facing Def 6, Def 5 with spears, and Faber Ironheart, I have got all of my hitting. He has all of it, including some Bane chants. So I'm reasonably confident I can win this segment. And then I've got all my kind of durable things over here. But where did I put my heroes? That's a great question. Well, there's the flying hero. So he's going to come over here and play possibly with Faber. There's the healing guy in the back, smartly placed. Because I'm going to spend the whole time trying to hex him with my wizard, who is here, hiding behind this tower. And there's my other 2 flying guys. So having not successfully, they died immediately when I put them together. I immediately put them together again, knowing full well I shouldn't have. But they are there, essentially, because people find them very scary. If you have 2 flying guys, they put so much effort into destroying them. So I'm hoping this stuff goes that way. So I can then smash in the center and get these 2 segments, right? So take care of these regiments, take care of these, with kind of all of this stuff, and just distract with the things that are here. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. So yep, so there we go. So we have, there's the general, there's the hero, foot guard, foot guard, foot guard, whiz, monarch. And then over here, oh, well, steady on, enthusiastic. So on the right hand side, these are the sharpness fanatics, scariest ones. The vicious fanatics, I'm going to say. There's the fanatics horde, and that's the. Oh, these ones are vicious. Those ones must. They both must be elite. There we go. Right. So over here, so we have Iron Guard. Is it the defense 6 guys? This one's Golok. This one's not. There's the horde of Ironclad. They've got LEDs in the base, by the way, so they all light up. It's very cool. If they've got these crystals, they light up. I want to say Iron Guard. These are the Bulwarkers. Iron Guard. So defense 6, defense 5 phalanx, defense 6. And then we have defense 6, defense 5 phalanx, and Faber. And then behind, there you go. That's the Berserker Troop, Standard Bearer, Battle Driller. Alrighty. Cool. And there's the little guy at the back. So I win turn 1, which is yay for me. Very, very lucky because it allows me, with the way he's deployed, to go forward and turn this way. So what I've got is I'm behind the wood, which is bad, but I can see quite nicely because height 5, height 4. Right, so the hero can see like this. The general can see even more, like this. And that puts him in a really nasty position. He's going to have to deal with that. So I've pushed forward otherwise because they're all kind of slow. In a kind of raggedy line. And I put my wizard here so he can do some hexing fun. And then we've got the sharpness guys touching the woods because they're still hitting on 3s. And we've got this guy sitting at the back here. And then I decide I'm going to shoot Faber Ironheart. Do you know I'm going to do that? Because I hate Faber Ironheart. And I've got a clear shot. Look at the battlefield. He's there. Look, he's there. I'm defense 6. You can shoot me if you like. You'll never kill me. And so I shoot him with all 3 bolt throwers. And I roll ridiculously well. He takes 6 wounds or something. And then I roll a 9 twice. And I take him off in the first turn. And you better believe there was much shouting and jubilation. Very smug on my side. And bless him. This is why I think Gabe's a cool guy. He was just laughing. He was like, that is ridiculous. He was really very gracious, given I'd just taken off one of his main characters and totally weakened his right-hand side. So, yeah. Just roll 6s, guys. Easy. So anyway, on his turn, so he's like, well, I'm just going to push forward and you can do what you like. So I think he's just outside of 13 here. And a strong push forward here because he's not really scared of anything that I've got with that much defense 6. And on this side, he's very mindful of the threat. So he has kept Golok here to shoot things forward. He's turned the other Steel Behemoth to take some kind of shots with cover, and he's got 1 Berserk. So what he's really measured here is that I can't get 20. Right, I can't get 20 and land here. I did measure it. I think maybe I could land just kind of like here. I could not. There's nowhere to land. Land here, I get squished. You know, I can go, but I'm going to be facing this way. So, you know, decent defensive play. And yeah, tit for tat, really. So 5 wounds from this Behemoth, and he takes off my hero. Woohoo. It's not really equivalent value, though, is it? This poor bugger hasn't really lasted long any games. But anyway, turn 2. So turn 2 looks like this. So we are... I'm not in an... I think it feels fairly even right now. I've definitely got the jump. There is a lot that I can charge. He's put everything within range of Fanatics and Fanatics, which is kind of cool. I wasn't enough range to hex on the first turn, but I will be on the second turn. So we do this. So on this side, we can see we're just outside of the charge range of Golok. And we are facing across, so we're just kind of patiently waiting. And then on the right-hand side, oh, that's right. So I put the general. So I worked out I could just turn and go 20. So although I am facing this way, I have got a line of sight to some things next turn. So he doesn't want him there. That's a good place for him to be. And I decided to just go for it. So I send the Fanatics Horde and the Vicious Fanatics into the weaker unit, really. So this is it's this unit actually that's here. What are they called? Bulwarkers? Phalanx. They've got phalanx. That's why they've got spears. This is the best dwarf list, I could say, I've ever played against for telling what's what. Because it's really hard. They're all on foot. And dwarves, they've got a shield. They haven't got a shield. Who can tell? These guys, you can really tell what's what. Because the guys with spears have got bloody great big spears, right? And the defense 6 guys have got bloody great big hammers. So, it was easy to tell for the first time. And I was kind of pleased. So anyway. The reason I do this is because I need to get into him and start doing damage before the behemoths come over. I can't deal with behemoths with my list. I just can't. There's nothing I can do about it. So I need to, really punch hard. I don't think... So these guys are 12 attacks each, right? So the Horde is going to be reasonably safe. He might take a Battle Driller, maybe some Berserkers if he can get them in, but I'm not sure he can. And something's going to be hindered. So I think the Horde will survive. This unit might go with, and I've got these guys to come in. So, and they're out. You can see I'm out of charge range of this Horde here, who are in difficult terrain. So I just need to get in there as quickly as possible, and do. So that's a lot of attacks as well, to be fair. That's 30 attacks and 50, so 45 attacks. These guys are on 4s. These guys are on 3s with Vicious. And, there's a chance of a Bane Charm from somewhere. Who knows? From this guy, actually. Who comes across, because I've got to do it later. So, yeah. So the Instigator just jumps over. He's hiding in the back. So the plan is I'm staying out of your charge range. You can throw dogs at me, and I leave this one forward deliberately so they can throw dogs at it. I don't think 2 sets of dogs is going to kill my regiment, and then I'm going to smack you. And I think a combo charge front and back should be nice. So yeah, that's looking good. And then the bolt throwers. I'm going to tell you, my bolt throwers are on fire this game. Turns out I can roll 4 sometimes. 6 wounds onto those guys, defense 6 and Iron Guard. That's really, really, really gross. And Gabe's patience and tolerance of my incredible dice rolling was notable. And then that happened, which was not great. So I got a Bane Chant off from the Standard Bearer onto the Horde. So I had 30 attacks on 4s and 5s. And then, 4s and 4s. And then 15 attacks on 3s and 5s with Vicious. I did 15 wounds, which is a fantastic number of wounds. And I bloody double won it, which is a little frustrating. Happened. My dice were great. And then not great. It was a very swingy turn. So yeah, we look like this. Yeah, it's smackety crunch time. So obviously I'm all stuck on this unit here. So he takes these 2 regiments into my Horde. He takes this regiment in the front and this hindered Horde in the flank. But it doesn't really matter because I'll be hitting on 4s hindered, 4s and then 2s. Oh, 4s and 4s because I've got the Hammer of Measured Force. But it doesn't matter because I'm just going to get squished, aren't I, really? Not a lot I can do about that. Frustrating. So then some more turning. So the Steel Behemoth. So this one simply just turned. So we worked out he could turn. You see the base underneath. It was kind of, could he turn around sufficiently to shoot me? And yes, he could. So he did. So one Steel Behemoth is distracted by the General. I'll take it. These other guys are just hanging to shoot my stuff. What's that showing? Who knows? Oh, they just move forward? Yeah, they move forward to just shoot dogs, basically. And there you go. So the dogs only did 4 wounds, which is a big tick from me. Very happy with that because now I can charge. Yeah, and that's Celestial Restoration. So that's right, I must have used my Wizard to Bane Chant that turn, or I failed the Hex, whichever. So Celestial Restoration is pretty gross, guys. He's sleeping on that. Anyway, 4 wounds there. General's still okay. And, of course, the Horde. Carked it. 18 wounds and smashed, and the other regiment. So both of my Fanatics taken out because of that double one. I mean, they might not have been. They might still have been taken out, but I would have been in a better place and he would have been 1 unit down. As it is, still 1 unit there. and I'm not feeling it. Into my turn 3. So we take the charge. So we take a hindered charge from those guys with sharpness, still hitting on 3s. And we take the instigator into the back. I'm pretty confident I should be able to take them off because they've already got 6 wounds. And you can see I've moved my other unit around here to shore up. So even if he manages to take those, what are they called, bulwarkers into that unit and take it off, I'm still going to win this side. So pretty happy with how that's going. Not so happy with how the rest of it's going. So yeah, my general decides to play some more. He just kind of, it turns out I can't see anything. He's moved forward just enough so I can't see anything with general, unfortunate. So he's just kind of jumped over into a happy position where nothing can see him. You can see he turned his berserkers around. Maybe that was the only thing he could see. Turned them to the front. Didn't fancy that. So I just kind of jumped into this position where he couldn't see anything. And I can start doing some rears. And then I did a multi-charge. So, I've kind of faced off against these guys. I've invited Golok in to kill one of them because then the other one will charge. But this is really a distraction because I don't care about this at all. I only care about here. This is really critical for me now. So if I can get my general into rears, this will be great. If I can't, it's not. So the Monarch and my Horde come into the this Horde here. And really, I don't hope I can kill them in a single turn. I don't think I can. I've not got enough. Maybe with the Bane Chant. I mean, this is 25 attacks on 3s. And it's going to be 4s with the Bane Chant, right? So what's that going to be, like 13 hits and maybe 7 or 8 wounds? The Monarch's not going to do a lot. So it's going to be... It's not going to die. The only reason he's here is to basically protect the Horde because that's my unit strength. So if Golok doesn't take that bait down there, he can come in and kill my Monarch and the Horde can fight and, live to fight again. Maybe. I'm going to bolt throw this unit off, I hope, in the middle. You can see my wizard has decided we've had enough healing. So he's come over here. He's really bullying this poor little stone priest. And there's my Stallion just hiding here for the Bane Chant. And I've already shown you that. But I'll show you again if you like. Hex, take that. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. That's 1 wound. 13. Oh no. They've gone from 11. Excuse me. 11 to 13 wounds, and I don't roll. Oh, do I waver them? I waver them. I waver them. That's it. So I think I rolled a 3. Must have rolled a 3 for nerve. I wavered them. Woo! I obviously love showing this to you because I've shown it to you again and again, 3 times now. And again, obviously, yeah, maybe I was stressed. Who knows? I don't think I was stressed. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's okay. I didn't roll a 3. Who did I waver? I definitely wavered someone, guys. Maybe in a later turn. With the usual accuracy of recollection, we've come to an experience from these battle reports. I do bolt throw them off. There you go. All right. And also, I kill those guys. So not unexpected, but pretty happy. Oh, there you go. Wow! Another spectacular turn of rolling. So we estimated like 12 wounds. We did 16 wounds on this Horde. We had a real chance to take them off. But then I rolled a 3. So, what goes around comes around, my friends. And now it's what is proverbially known as crunch time. It's time to get squished. Oh no! Oh, it's so painful to look at. So, yeah. The Beowulf turns around and faces this way. This unit doesn't really care about my 2 regiments here. Golok takes my Monarch in the flank. Helped by the Horde, and the regiment goes front and flank here. This is a hindered charge. The battle driller, I think, might not be able to get in, so the battle driller doesn't join in. Yep, and this regiment of bulwarkers comes into my sharpness regiment. More shooting. This guy just loves shooting my general. General's okay. General doesn't care. Even worse, these bulwarkers are terrible. Up to 10 wounds on the sharpness fanatics, and they're okay too. That was bad, wasn't it? 9 wounds. So this was like 12 here, 24 here, was hindered. But even so, he rolled like a dog. Only 9 wounds on the Horde. All is not lost! Unless you're the Monarch, in which case everything is lost. You are completely lost forever. So yeah. And there we go. They reform like this. So the Horde backs up. The Behemoth turns to face this not very scary pair of regiments. And we are locked in combat. So all is not lost. I got to say, I think I was playing pretty well, but my dice were definitely helping, and Gabe's dice were definitely not helping. So I think if he had been rolling average and I'd been rolling average, I would be in an even more dire situation. As it was, pretty close. So yeah, in we crack to my turn 4. So we look at these options and I decide, yeah, I'm going to leave the Horde. Do I think I can shoot it with a bolt thrower? Why would I think that? No, I don't. No, I don't. Here's what happens. Oh, it's a clever move. So I learn. He says, like I'm so clever. So from here, here's what I do. We spend a little time messing around with it, but it does actually work in there. And I was hoping I'm able to do something cooler than this, but no. So this Horde countercharges this regiment of Iron Guard. Then this general, who's lived through, not wavered for the first time ever, because he's a 15-16, and I think he rolled a 9 or an 8 rather, putting him to 14 wounds, and he would have been wavered otherwise. He fits lovely in here, right? So he comes over this way. This regiment, before he does that, this regiment pivots like this, hindered charge into the Horde. I need to do 1 wound, right, to take them off, which then allows, this regiment is going to die anyway, but it's just holding ground. If this all comes off, right, if I get Bane Chant to these guys and they roll well, that's that gone, and that gone, and all of his unit strength in the centre is wiped out. If it comes off. If my dice carry on being as hot as they are. Wow. So that's what we do. So you can see how we end up. So it just fits very, very nicely. It was really tight. Regiment, General, Horde. We decide that we want to distract Golok, so we go into the regiment. There's no point charging him in the front anyway. So we charge the regiment because that means Golok comes this way out of the scoring zone. And, yeah, that's showing that. And then the bolt throwers are shooting. What the heck are we shooting? I think we shoot the troop. We do shoot the troop. And we all just kind of smash in here on this side too. So the wizard comes up here, and that's right. So rather than Hex anymore, because I realise I need the Bane Chants, I need many, many Bane Chants, I send my Instigator, who's not really got anything to do over there anymore, into the Stone Priest just to hold him up for a turn. I've got double Bane Chants, so a Bane Chant here, and a Bane Chant, I think, if I fail it, onto the General here. Which I get. And I get there as well. That's a marker that I ran out of Bane Chant markers. Oh, one of the little bottles is broken. How sad. Anyway. So double Bane Chants. We absolutely smash to hell. Those bulwarkers on that side. So we are stone free. So my plan is so far working. 2 wounds there. So he's not going to be casting, which is great. Nice shot of Gabe's crotch there. Lovely. Well, best laid plans. So even with a Bane Chant, we're still 25 attacks on 3s and 5s. We do 4 wounds, which is pitiful. Pitiful. What should it have been? We love doing maths, don't we? So 25, maybe 13 hits and then 5s. What would that be? Yeah, 4 wounds is probably what it should be, actually. That's entirely average. There you go, maths. Horde's going to die. 9 wounds on this one, and even worse, 9 wounds here. I don't roll the, I would need an 8, wouldn't I, off 9 wounds. Pretty good. 14 attacks on 3s and 2s. 7. Yeah, I think that's, well, it's kind of what you expect as well. I waver them, but they're quite headstrong. And that is really the killer, isn't it? That's just a kick in the nuts right there. But this is where all the waivers come in. I waver the Horde. Put them up to 18 wounds. I couldn't roll the nerve this turn. That's really, 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 really bad. 3 wounds there. That doesn't matter. Yeah. And in fact, so this unit does not pass its headstrong roll. This unit does. Which, after all, is the unit I don't want to do a headstrong roll. So, yeah, this is how we look. Really poor. So, just like, I look at it now and just think, oh man, I really had a chance. I didn't actually have a chance. And the bolt throws did 3 wounds on these berserkers, by the way, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that unit's going to get smashed because it's got Golok in the flank. This unit's going to get smashed because the other Behemoth's in the flank. The General's probably going to survive. Unless you charge the General with the Horde. Since Golok was in the flank. I don't know, let's have a look in a minute, I can't remember. This one's wavered, it was fine, but this one is Battle Driller here, unit here, and it's already on 9 wounds, so that's not looking great. Yep, that's that unit gone. Golok does what Golok does. Both of, so yeah, the Horde went into the General, and the Behemoth went into the regiment. They both go. They both go. And the Horde goes. So what I wanted to do to him, he did to me. It was really crunch time. That was so painful. But you know, we're still having fun. Turn 5, I now have no army. I've just got my 2 guys over here and a wizard. And a very scared standard bearer. So yeah, that was make or break turn, and it was in fact break. So here's how we respond. So we bring the fanatics over. We're going to try and do what we can. We're going to try and shoot things off. You know, a bolt here and a bolt there could be very, very nice. We shall see. Stone Priest can heal all he likes, and he will, probably. But he can't see a lot because of the hill, which is great. He's not really placed very well for the battlefield. So the Instigators come over, he's touching the hill so we can play with things later. He's going to get hexed anyways. And we shoot the Horde off. Hurrah! But we do, in fact, not shoot this regiment off. Woo! I think I probably can't see the regiment. Yeah, I think I can't see it because the hill's in the way. So the regiment can't be seen. We do a wound here, we do a wound here, and we get rid of the Horde, which is one thing, but he's still got loads of unit strength. And it all just turns around and goes, come on then. You want the centre, you're having a laugh. You can see we put down the markers now so you can see where the centre is. I'm not sure this is going to work. And we're back into turn 6. What did the Instigator do? Oh, that's right. The Instigator said, well, you've got 9 wounds, you can die. So then he's got 4 unit strength here, 4 unit strength here. I've got 6 unit strength, so it's 8. So something needs to die, and I don't have the means to die it. Die it? Kill it? And even worse, I think he doesn't kill them. He doesn't do a single wound. Yeah, just add insult to injury. Look at that. Not a single wound on them. He was trying to wound on 5, so it was a bit of a chancy one. Anyway, he's going to get eaten. The Behemoth ate the living snot out of him. What was that? Who was that? Oh, that's my wizard. Who killed my wizard? I think he threw throwing dogs at him. Was there throwing dogs? Yeah. He had some throwing dogs left here, so he threw them at my wizard and killed them, which is just rude, man. And the Instigator dies. And there's a turn 7, which is even worse. So we just kind of hide and say, please don't kill me. And he doesn't. But we do bolt throw off. What did we bolt throw off? A unit? Was there a unit there? Oh, it was. It was the Berserkers. So we get them for points. And then he does 11 wounds. It's pointless, really, doesn't it? I think it was maybe that was the last dogs. I don't know. Oh, well, Golok shot him. Golok shot them. 11 wounds is a ton. He double-wonned it. So, you know, saving grace at the end of the game. And that was the end of a great game. Superb game. Really enjoyed it. Fantastic guy. Just a shame that he kicked the living smeg out of me. Very close. I was proud with how it went. I don't think it went that badly. You know, I did have very, 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 very hot dice. On to game 3. 1 win, 1 loss. And so into game 3 versus Ray, who is kind of a dude, and his Orcs. It's nice to see an Orc list there. You didn't see him very much. And this was his Orc list. So he had... Oh, I forgot to mention. What additional objective did I do in game 2? It doesn't matter because I lost so badly, but I chose strength in numbers. This one, have a higher unit strength still alive. Obviously did not happen. So there you go. If you're interested for game 3, I choose a hamstring. Route all units with a movement value greater than 7 because he doesn't have very many. So he's got 2 regiments of Morax. They're good. 2 hordes of Longax. Don't see Longax very much. And I think this is very much, as they say, a meta thing. There's a lot of flying over there in the east coast. And so 2 phalanx hordes is very powerful. Especially since they have Fury and Headstrong. 30 attacks is nice. a regiment of reborn legionaries, and I was talking to Ray, and he was like resisting Riftforge Orcs incursion. I was like, but they're already in your list, man. They're right there. And he was like, yeah, that is a point. So, 2 regiments of Gore Riders, which is the speed 7 guys, along with the Gakamak. A legion of fight wagons. We'll come back to that in a minute. 2 war drums for rallying 2. A God Speaker who's got Inspiring, Bane Chant, and Scorched Earth, which you can forget because you didn't use it. It doesn't come up. Morax Mansplitter and Gakamak. So Gakamak is gross. He's really good. He hits on a 2. Hello. The Morax Mansplitter is exactly the same, pretty much, as my Instigator, except that my guy flies. But otherwise, the Morax inspires and has this aura, and has a ranged attack. So he is in fact significantly better, but he probably costs more. And then the fight wagons will come back because exactly the same as my horde of what are they called? Fanatics. They're exactly the same. So I've got more nerve. Dash 22. He's defense 5. I'm defense 3. I'm speed 5. He's speed 7. So not exactly the same at all, but very similar. I'm going to move on. His berserkers are much better than my berserkers. They also cost more than my berserkers, but critically they have 20 attacks. This is something that I should know because I play orcs and I had a Morax heavy orc list. However, I've been playing with my flippin' fanatics for so long, I looked at Morax right from the beginning of the game until the point when Ray rolled their attacks on my units, thinking they had 15 attacks, and doing all the maths for 15 attacks. For 15 attacks. In fact, they have 20, which is way better because it's 5 more. I learned that the hard way. Let's find out. So we are playing a scenario called Protect and Raise. So you may know Raise, the scenario where you have 3 tokens 6 inches from the center line. So 6 inches from the center line on either side, and then 1 in the center. Whatever. I'll show you where they are rather than draw them. Here they are. So you have 1 in the center, and then 3 each, 6 inches from the center line. You can raise the ones on your opponent's side from turn 2 onwards if you control them. The difference between raise and protect and raise is that for scoring at the end of the scenario, you get 1 point for each one you raise, 1 point for the center, and 1 point for each one of your own that is not destroyed. Okay. So a nice little twist on that, and this is how we deployed. So over here we have Gakamak and the Fight Wagon Legion, which is this very cool model. Morax, War Drum, Morax Mansplitter. Another War Drum, God Speaker. This is the Horde and Horde. I don't know which one's got which thing. It's not really important. There is the Inspiring Riftforge unit, whatever they're called. Reborn Legionaries. And then we have these guys and these guys. Okay, so I deliberately I want to be playing on this side because of the hill. Right, I want to be charging off this hill, so I kind of by token placement I force 2 tokens over here and 2 tokens over here. There is a token over here. I'm going to get that pretty easily. He's just got his whatever they're called. What are they called? Gore Riders. And I've got my flying guys. Can't quite see them. They're down here, so I should be able to get that quite easily. And then protecting this one, I've got my fanatics, right? So this is the vicious ones possibly, and the horde. So all I need to do is to hold off these guys here, which I was reasonably confident I could do. I forced it also by putting these guys down here, so he's putting a lot of his bigger things over here out of range of the bolt throwers. So once again, I put those down first to really kind of stake a claim and to say, you're going to have to go over there. And then on that side, so this is the force, as I've just described. So on that side, I've got the 2 regiments and the horde and the monarch, and some. Oh, these are vicious fanatics. A wizard is here as well because the wizard's going to go straight up on this hill, boink, and then he's going to start hexing the God Speaker, who's here. Can't really get away from that. Plus, he's the only magic user, so. That's a very meaty centre for me. left for me rather, and then we've got these are the sharpness fanatics. They can go either way, but they, you know, I should be able to soften up this unit or this unit in preparation for the sharpness fanatics to come in and take them off. Yeah, that's the plan. There's my general. He's going to go and play. I've got the instigator as well, who can come over and help. Where is my hero on a peg? There's the hero on a peg in the middle, so that's chaff, right? Because I need that. These guys I need to not charge, so I'm going to have to throw chaff pieces in front of large hordes while I get into position for the counter charge. So that's my plan. Into turn 1, which I win again. My goodness me! Is that 3 in a row? Gosh, how unusual. So we can push forward really hard because it's Orcs versus Smash stuff. So we are just out of charge ranges here. No, in fact, he isn't. He's just hiding behind the hill, waiting for things to come up on the hill so he can then die nobly while I bring things out of terrain to get unhindered charges. Over here, it's a nice kind of curve, which I was quite pleased with. Nothing is particularly chargeable, but what it's setting up is for when these guys come in, there is many, many multiple charges I can make whilst I'm protecting these 2 critical tokens. And there's the first hex of the game. Take that, Orc. There's some wounds. He's using these knitting counters. You can't quite see them, but I do need to turn them over a minute. So the bolt throwers unleash into the reborn legionaries. I think I do a wound. Yeah, and he's just like, well, I'm Orcs. I don't care about anything you're doing. I'm just pushing forward, and he does. He's just like, gonna Orc you in the face. Into turn 2. So what do I do for turn 2? This is how we look. So a very threatening wall of Orcs. I really have a big problem with these giant hunks of nerve. I have not many options for taking those off. And as I kind of worked out through this tournament, Kingdoms of Men, and particularly my Kingdoms of Men list, it needs multiple units into a single unit to take it off. You have to multi-charge. There is no option. Because everything I have is terrible. Right, so the general says, I reckon I can take on Gore Riders on my own, and off he goes to do so. The reason being is that by landing here, I can immediately raise this token, so I get 1 point on from the off, which is great. The others can really kind of stay slightly out of lines of sight, so this line of sight from here is bad. You know, this is a very slow force, so I put myself in a position where I can charge whatever I want. Obviously, the instigator doesn't want to get charged by a horde, so he backs up out of range. Then over here on the left, the hero nobly sacrifices itself to this Fight Wagon Legion with its giant number of attacks. Now, it is sitting on some terrain. It would have been hindered. I'm looking at it now. Would I have been better to put the hero in front of these guys, allow the Fight Wagon Legion in on something, and then get flanked? Because Gakamak cannot multi-charge with it. Gakamak would have to do something else. So yeah, I think that was a misplay by me, if I'm honest with you. Looking at it now, I would think I was too scared of this unit because he's got 30 attacks on. Is it 3s or 4s? Sorry, I apologise. Great viewing. 3s. It is 30 attacks on 3s, crush 1. So 30 attacks on 3s, crush 1. 30 attacks on 4, so 15. And then 4, so 7 wounds. It's not enough to kill anything I've got. Yeah, I should have done some counting. Anyway, it is what it is. So I think the hero would have been better placed, Plogs, pretty much here for murder time. But then I suppose the man could have come in here. Choices. The bolt thrower continues to pound this unit for 3 wounds now. Still can't roll anything decent. The general woofs his dice pretty badly. I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true. He just does normal with 3 wounds. Strips any Thunderous they have. And they're okay. Was hoping for a waiver, didn't get it. No wounds, by the way, onto the Fight Wagons, but the hero's just a hero. So yeah, that's going to be a counter charge. That's going to be a counter charge. And he forms in this lovely line here. So he's saying whatever you charge, you're getting charged by something else next turn, which is fair. So I have chaff here to hold something off, and I have multiple charges. So it's really deciding. I can't get on this one with my horde. I can get both onto here. I'm still hindered, unfortunately. I couldn't get out of this terrain, which is pretty poor. But I have 2 unhindered fanatics regiments. So what do I decide to do? And then he charges in here. So Gakamak comes into the Monarch. Couldn't quite get anywhere else. And this Morax regiment and the Mansplitter come into my horde. And I thought 15 attacks, not a problem. That's why I sent the hero into the fight wagon. It's not 15. It's not 15. It was an unhindered 20. With an aura of thunderous charge, so they're now crushed 2. Anyway. Gore Riders, countercharge, doing more wounds than the General. The General's a little bit concerned, but he's still okay. And moreover, Gakamak, being the beast that he is, 7 wounds on my Monarch, didn't like that. Yeah, and that monster just eats my hero alive. That's what happens. Yeah, and that was it. So he rolled very, very well. He rolled very, very well. 6 attacks from the Mansplitter, 20 attacks from the Morax. Most of them converted, and then he rolled a decent nerve twice, and off my horde popped. And I was shook, shall we say. A little bit concerned. Turn 3. So I've misplayed on the left. Hands up, right? He's really in a very strong position now. Because I've got no chaff left, really, apart from that wizard. Who's going to have to probably sacrifice himself. And then on the right-hand side, it's make or break time. I need to roll like a demon now. That's all I got. My shooting isn't doing very well this turn. I've not rolled a great deal of wounds. The General's struggling on the right. We're struggling on the left. We need to break in the centre. We need to break the wave. So here's what I do. So I send both regiments into the fight wagon over here. I just need to take him off. I send my Vicious Fanatics into Gakamak along with a countercharge from the Monarch. I'm hoping that I can kill him straight up. And then I will back up here. And then I will overrun into this horde here. Right? It's a reasonable chance with a Bane chant. So the wizard flies over here to block this Morax regiment. And Bane chant here. And then we go all in. So I really, really tried to get the Instigator in as well. Because if you do the numbers, I have to roll very well. For these are Sharpness Fanatics and this hindered horde on his horde of Long Axe. Without this guy as well, it's like 7s twice or something like that. But I couldn't get it. It doesn't fit. This doesn't fit in this length here. So even with the size of Orcs hordes. So instead, I kind of sacrifice this regiment into this horde to hold it up. I sacrifice the Instigator into here to hold it up, right? And what I need more than anything is to kill so that I can then turn and I have 2 units free for when these guys die. Right, but that is a big ask. Bane chant at the ready. So this is the turn where everything needs to come off. I need to kill Gakamak over here. I'm going to need to do a reasonable amount of damage here. I need to kill this horde. And the General needs to pull his weight over here, right? And waver or kill these Gore Riders. He is still 7 attacks. Now he's on 3s and 3s. He's lost his Thunderous, who was 3s and 2s before. I just need to roll well this turn, or at least roll average. So I do get a Bane chant on the Sharpness Fanatics. Woohoo. I do not get a Bane chant. Oh, that's bolt throws shooting the guys at the back. 4 wounds, let's go. Bolt throws did alright. I don't get a Bane chant on the other side. The General absolutely woofs his dice for the 2nd turn in a row. Disastrously. Nothing. Even more over here. The Monarch does bugger all, and the Vicious Fanatics just don't do quite enough. I think that's probably average dice there to get a 9, but Gakamak's like a 14, 16 or something. So I'd need a 7 twice. I don't get it. So Gakamak lives. Oh, frustrating. We do, however, do some wounds here. So 4 wounds off this guy onto the Inspiring guys. Still no wave or anything on them. Yeah, 14 wounds. That's poor. That's poor rolling, I think. So let's do the maths live now. It's always. I'm sure you guys really enjoy hearing me struggle to count because maths is not my strong point. 15 attacks on 2s. Right. Let's say 13 hits. And then wounding on 3s, I'd say that should be 11 just from the Fanatics, from the regiment. And then the Horde, 11, maybe 10, let's say 10. The Horde's like 30 attacks on 4s, So it'll be 15 hits, and then 4s again, 7 or 8 wounds, right? So this should be up to about 20, 18, 19. It's significantly under, and my nerve roll is under. Garbage. Bad times. Other ways we do 9 wounds, which is respectable. From the other fanatics do better, but not enough. Not enough. So that's a horrific turn, really. I needed everything to come off. I needed the general back in the game. He's going to get murdered now. These guys are going to get murdered. He's going to get murdered. And one of these is going to get murdered. This is really poor. Over here, it's just murder town everywhere. I think we did a couple of wounds to this guy. Not enough. I mean, it's just horrific. Really bad. We're going to get rear charge. Oh, no. So Gakamak's going to kill these guys. The Monarch's going to die to these guys. There he goes. And the Mansplitter comes in as well. Why not? Why not, little demon? So then he countercharges with the fight wagons onto this unit. It wasn't a flank, it was a rear. We had a look at it again and we decided it was a rear. He initially put it in the rear and I went, no, that was a flank. And then we looked at the picture and went, no, it was a rear. It was a rear. It goes back to the rear. Yeah, General dies. So now the Gore Riders are free. That regiment dies. Yeah, sure. Instigator doesn't die, which is nice. It does take 6 wounds. Dash 14. Yeah, Sharpness Fanatics, they cark it. So, looking poor. Looking bad. Wizard dies after the rear charge. Monarch dies, and these Fanatics are up to 8 wounds, but they're still okay. So, not entirely died, but it's really not looking good. And 8 wounds. Why were we on 8 wounds? What were we on? Oh, no, going back in 8 wounds. It was 8 wounds. And yes, so the fight wagon does kill those guys. So, and he sidesteps over here, which just keeps his unit strength 4 on top of this token, meaning I can't claim it. Turn 4, and things are looking pretty desperate, guys. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of green left on the board, thanks to that really one disastrous turn. Yeah. So I have protected this one. This one is gone, so it's 1-1 now. This one I've got no chance of getting anywhere near unless I manage to smash here and overrun enormously or something. I don't know really what. That's not looking great. That's not looking great. There's nothing here, and there's nothing over there whatsoever. I just got 3 bolt throwers and a desperate-looking standard bearer. Pretty bad. I don't like to blame dice. It does feel inelegant, but you know, it's a relentless wall of green nightmare. You have to do well. You have to kill when you hit. Otherwise, it just smashes you back and never stops. Anyway, so we think, well, come on, this inspiring lads. They have to die. They're on 7 wounds. Bane chant my little instigator. Let's go. That's showing you the same thing again. How exciting. Oh, what's happened? What's happened? Did I do any wounds? Did I fail to do any? Is that what that's saying? That I didn't do any bloody wounds? Let's find out if there's any more. So we do kill Gakamak, which is great. And then we overrun. And what's more, we kill the Morax behind them, which is fantastic. I cannot get out of the line of sight of the Mansplitter. I'm on 8 wounds. So this is very painful for them. So we have taken off some unit strength over here. They are 6 wounds now on this. So don't forget it's a dash 20. So I still can't kill it. Bad. Oh, there you go. Oh, I did do some wounds. We did 3 wounds on this unit. Woohoo! Still didn't waver them. Needed a 6 to waver them on the nerve and didn't get it. And we do kill off this horde of long axe on the second go. Second go is not enough. And we do a lot of manoeuvring and positioning to see what would happen if these guys disengage, because we're playing the disengage rule, and sidestep, and then could the Gore Riders come in here? So I turn like this to try and prevent that. I really wanted to overrun, but that meant the Gore Riders definitely could come in. On this token. As it is, I just have to sit on the middle one and hope. So we turn like this, which means I have to take a charge maybe here. I don't know. Yeah, and then he has 10 wounds from the fight wagons onto my foot guard regiment, and he double ones it. Some luck! Exactly what I need at this time. Because he's turned, so he does murderize with the Mansplitter and this Morax regiment, my fanatics, and then he turns away from the regiment. So he did that one first, turned away, assuming the fight wagon would kill them, and now the fight wagon is on its own. And not in rally range. That is my instigator dying. Yeah, so what he does, he can't. We worked out he can't. We did, move this way, turn, come. They come like this, so he can't get the Gore Riders in. That Gore Rider unit at the back is pretty wrecked. However, he can get the long axe in, and they're off a hill. So, wah wah wah. 14 wounds, but he doesn't kill me because 14. He needs 10 twice, doesn't he? No, that's 24. He needs an 8 twice. Doesn't get it. Turn 5, still looking very desperate. I'm not going to lie. This token's going to go because his Gore Riders are going to get it. This token I can't get to. There's nothing I have that can get to it. This unit's on its own. It is sitting on a token. And there's the one in the centre, which I am currently not controlling because he is unit strength 4. I think War Drum's 1, 3. It's awful. Sad times for everyone. So, we Bane chant the Horde, going back into these guys. They're on 10 wounds already. The bolt throwers shoot them up to 11 wounds. I still don't kill them. And then I have a dramatic moment, right? So don't forget, these guys, this was on 6 wounds, right? And I've got my little regiment on its own, left alone. I've been foreshadowing this a little bit. Okay, so I put it up to 11 wounds. So I do 5 wounds. 11 wounds requires a 9 twice. In fact, not even that. A 9 once to take off the fight wagons. And then a chap comes over from Dojo, I believe it was. I can't remember who it was. Who was it? I can't remember. And he wanders over and I go, I need a 9 once to kill these fight wagons. He says, let me breathe on your dice. And he does go, come on, baby. And I roll them. And I rolled an 8. Why? 1 away. I was 1 away. A magnificent turnaround. Didn't do it. We did kill those guys though. But I'm on 12 wounds and I'm about to get double charged. So it's no good. In fact, there you go. I do get double charged. That token's now gone. It's now 2-1. And 3-1 I think actually because he's taken the other one as well. It's not good, is it? It's really not good. And yeah, and then he obviously charges that unit. Wanders off over here to protect this. And yeah, my Horde dies. And it's turn 6. I haven't got anything left. I've just got 3 bolt throwers. 3 bolt throwers and a standard bearer. And I'm like, hey guys. This poor person's like, what the hey? And so we run away and we shoot things. We put these guys up to 14 wounds. Do they die? Those guys up to 7 wounds. Yes, they do! Finally! After 6 turns of shooting them. 6! Well, not 6 turns of shooting. 6 turns of hitting them. Reborn Legionaries. Too tough, man. The Mansplitter comes into 1 catapult. And his Gore Riders come over very threateningly. Bit rude. And this guy just sits in the middle token like, I'm going to claim the token on my own. Yeah, and he sits over there having a happy time. But the Mansplitter woofs it for the first time and only waves my catapult. So you should. But it's okay. There's a turn 7, guys. Yay. Well, that's such great news. There's a turn 7. I'm so happy. Yeah. And so at the end of the game, I'm left with a bolt thrower and the standard bearer. Fair to say, not great. Not great. So pretty unhappy with that, but you know, I hope I was gracious in defeat. We had a good game, me and Ray, and he's a lovely guy, really enjoyable. I went off to eat things, play games of Tortuga, and drown my sorrows, and prepare for the next day, which we did. So that's the end of this battle report. I am coming back with another one for the final 2 days, final 2 games rather, and some photographs of me in front of the White House. So watch for that, probably later in the week or next week. And see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Toodaloo. You know what I mean.